You are all existing in the past, the present, and the future simultaneously, but you are most focused on, we will actually tell you, the past. Most human beings are focused more on the past than the present, and that's okay. It is not wrong. It may sound wrong to some of you, but it is actually simply where the timeline focuses for humanity at the moment. You are, perhaps we would sway it this way, 60% past and 40% present, most of you. And some of you who are futurists, you are often 10 to 20% in the future too. So all of you are existing in the past and the present and the future, but the consciousness of humanity at this time is mostly focused on present and past. We will say to you that in future decades and centuries, the consciousness will align more between present and future. So the sway that is currently towards the past will start to sway a touch more towards the future, with a bit more grounding in the present for everyone. So when you ask where do these premonitions come from, or how are you involved in the intuitive realms, well, one way we could describe it is you are all intuitive through your senses. Often there is an idea that intuition is simply about the third eye or psychic information or visions, but actually your intuitive faculty comes through your senses. So many of you can feel that another human being you are standing with is nervous. You might tell yourself through your mind that because you saw their lip quivering and because you saw their body shaking a little bit and because they didn't seem as calm as they normally did, that is how you worked out they were nervous. And for some people, that is how they work out that other people are nervous. But most of you engaging with this material, you will feel it. Your feeling, your senses will intuitively understand what is going on. You will read the energy field of that other person before or simultaneously with seeing the symbols, the signs, the indicators that they are nervous. So, when you tap into what you might call your intuition, where your higher mind or your visionary third eye is concerned, you are simply tapping into the future. So, yes, there are some who get premonitions about people dying. There are some who get premonitions about events that do come true, but there are other premonitions that come along that either change in the timeline or were designed to help shift something for you so that that outcome doesn't need to come true. So, intuition, as we perceive it, and from your perspective, is actually an all feeling, all knowing energy that you have inside you. It is not just about psychic information or psychic visions that get sent your way, but you can all tap into the future at any time if you choose to. And if the consciousness shifts enough on the planet where more people are able to feel comfortable with allowing their intuition to be part of their life, not all of their life. No one would want to walk around living purely from intuition, for there is far more to your world and your humanity and your soul than that. But you can all tap into the future, because the future, in terms of the themes of your life, is there from your birth. It is in place. This is why so many of you, and especially children who are still quite connected to the soul realms, have these premonitions about their life. They know what they're going to do. They know what they're here to be. They know what they're here for. Not every child has that, but many children, when you pay close attention to what they tell you, especially in that first 6 to 7 years for most children, they will tell you a great deal about why they are here, what they have come for. They can't fully make sense of it with their linear mind, but they simply know it. They know why they came. They know which relationships they came for. They know what they came to do on the planet this time around. They are feeling the future not because they are placing themselves somewhere else in order to do that, or they are having some extraordinary vision sent to their mind. They can feel it because they are connected to it. You are all deeply connected to your future. And it is the idea that you are not that can get in the way of your manifesting and your abundance. That is why so many of you will let the past get in the way of what you create. Remember, we said most of you are focused on the past. So if you were to present to someone who had just come out of a deeply unhappy relationship, perhaps they had lost all of their belongings, their home, their money, and they are very much in the wound of that. And you say to them, I can feel that you are going to have a wonderful future. I can feel that you are going to have a wonderful relationship ahead. You are going to build a beautiful life for yourself. You're going to have the resources you need to do and create what you want to create on this earth. They will hear you one of two ways. If they are in the light and the truth of their soul and they can join you in that seeing, they will say, ah, yes, that feels good to me. And they may not be able to stay there the whole time, but in that moment, they will feel the truth of it and it will sustain them long enough to continue to clear out the wounds of the past relationship. But most will fight you. Most who are consumed by the wound of the past and what they just walked through will not be able to feel the future when you present that to them. They will start to object and they will say, oh, I don't deserve a good relationship, because that belief is still in their system. That is partly what this last relationship affirmed to them, that they don't deserve a good relationship. They will tell you that it's impossible for them to find a house at the budget that they've got now, because again, they're stuck in the budget they've got now. They're not considering that they could actually increase their finances in the future. So this is why we say intuition developing in your world is key to a better world for all, not just the individual. While you eradicate the intuition, you eradicate possibility in the future. And this is something that many are struggling with at this time on Earth. You are seeing the destruction and, in some cases, the manipulation and control of the Earth in certain ways. And many of you believe you are doomed to that future because so many of you have forgotten that you can build and create differently. And that is part of the power of the soul on Earth. But because the soul has been, shall we say, removed from the conversation of humanity over and over again, people forget. People forget what they are connected to. It's a creational power that runs through you. So that is why we give this example of the friend that you were trying to encourage. He, she, or they are locked into their idea of what they have just been through, and they cannot see that they could build something different in the future because they are caught somewhere between the past and the present. And where you as a humanity are now going is to get to a point where by 2050, you are all more firmly in the present than ever before, which will allow the future to come forward in a big way.